Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm excited to film because it's kind of, I don't think it's the last video I'm posting in the month of February. I think it's one of the last videos I'm posting in the month of February. But
February.
But basically during the month of February I've been trying to share the love, have that kind of as a theme, and so I've decided to open up a Q&A for us to talk about our relationship. So those are the questions we're going to be answering today. So let's get into the video.
Let's do it.
So just a little bit of the backstory. Part of the reason I am filming this is because we just hit our 10-year dating anniversary as of Valentine's Day. And so when you say that, or when we have friends and family that know we've been together that long, we get kind of repetitive questions about like, do you still like each other? How do you do it? And there's obviously people who have been in relationships much longer than 10 years, but for us, it's a big deal.
2 nickels. It's been fun.
So I think one of the first questions would be, where did we meet? Like, how did we get together? As an additional backstory.
Do you want me to take this?
Sure.
All right. Well, lucky for my friend Thomas, he gets another shout out. We met at...
I think this is coming out before the shout out.
Oh, we'll see.
No, I know.
We met at a party on what we call at KU Stop Day, which is the Friday before final start. My friends were having a party. They invited one of our old neighbors, who also happened to be a co-worker of Alyse, and we met at the party, and the rest is history.
Darla really wants to be in the video too. We'll talk about when we got you in a second, okay?
Okay.
Okay, get down. Oh my gosh, my pants. I don't know what you said.
I gave the entire how we met story at the party where you tried to play fight with me.
We met, and I would consider us inseparable since then.
Pretty much.
I consider us pretty much inseparable from the beginning. Like, I knew pretty early on that the relationship between the two of us was different. For the simple fact that, like, I wanted to be with him all the time. So.
Pretty sweet of you.
This is very awkward. Okay, so going into the next question would be like, when did you know each other were the one? Is that grammatically correct? I don't know.
When did
Okay, the dog is drinking in the background. I apologize. She just is super needy.
I would say I realized it probably around, let me see, that was a couple weeks, around Christmas. Because we met a couple weeks before Christmas at Stop Day.
Oh.
Over that holiday break.
Like, just recent Christmas?
Yes, Christmas 2017. I figured it all out. No, it would have been Christmas 2007.
Yeah, I knew pretty early on, just like what I already said, just the fact that I wanted to keep hanging out. And wanted to keep staying together. So we had some ups and downs in the beginning of our relationship in regards to, this is a hard-hitting topic, I guess, being in an interracial relationship. So just to cut to the chase on those questions, we do live in a red state, but I actually don't feel like that. We live in Kansas, and it's not like every corner that I turn, I feel, I don't know, like somebody's being super backwards or something. But it is more of a, I don't know.
Conservative.
Yeah, it's conservative, and being in a really interracial relationship is not necessarily conservative. So we did have some, I don't know, hurdles to jump over in regards to that in the beginning. And so I guess a question that we get kind of a roundabout way is like, is it hard, is it difficult to be in an interracial relationship? And for me, I would say no.
No, I mean, you still get looks every now and then, usually from older individuals. I would say it's much more accepted from just people a little older than us and younger. It's something that I don't think about on a regular basis because it's just normal.
Yeah,
It's
for me,
not weird or
yeah.
frowned upon in any corner of the people that I hang around.
Yeah, it's definitely a situation where like we didn't see each other necessarily for the color of our skin because we weren't raised that way. So we see each other as people, and when somebody brings it up, I honestly am like, oh yeah, like I guess that is one way you could classify our relationship. But I mean, in regards to whether or not it's difficult, I haven't had any difficulties. And you never know, like he talks about older people looking at us when we're out together with our daughter and things like that. Like you never know why. Like you can assume why they're staring or whatever, but you never know. Maybe they just really hate our outfits or something. Okay, so we actually just took a massive break. I don't know if you guys heard in the previous clip or not, but our daughter woke up from a nap and pretty much she's going through the like about 8 to 10 month. They say there's another sleep regression, and she's definitely going through that along with some teething. And so it is legit like hours later. So I apologize about the lighting, and if anything looks different, including us, if we look like so much more tired or something. But I think the last thing we were talking about, and of course the dog was drinking in the background again. I cannot even handle her. Okay, we were talking about what it was like being in an interracial relationship and whether or not it was difficult. If you guys have further questions about that topic specifically, leave them down below. But I think that's all we'll say about that topic. Moving on. So people ask just kind of how you keep a long relationship going. I guess would be a broad way of describing like multiple questions into one. So do you have any tips for like having a positive relationship 10 years in?
Lots of apologies. lots of listening. That's constantly improving. And I would say, I mean, just love is love. Like, I mean, and then
Love is love? What does that mean?
You just gotta roll with the punches like the dog. Life comes at you fast, so you just have to adapt, adjust, and keep going.
Yeah, you have to put each other first, like, or you have to make each other a priority. And for us, we met when I was 20. So, you grow up with somebody, or you grow together. Like, somebody who is 25 is different than who they are at 50, or whatever. So you do kind of have to learn to grow with one another and try not to compare, I would say, to other relationships. A lot of times people get caught up in like getting married. I know before we were getting married, all that I saw like on my Facebook or social media was that people were getting married and having babies. And a lot of times people like rush into things in their relationship because they're judging other relationships. So I think that would be my biggest tip, is just remembering that your relationship is unique. So another tip that I would give along those same lines, that would answer a similar question, is that you have to remember that, like I kind of already touched on it, but that you have to make each other a priority. And with that, you have to fight for your relationship. So if you love somebody, and if you, are married or committed or whatever, barring any like super dysfunctional things, you will come across challenges that I think you have to fight for your relationship in. I just see a lot of people who throw in the towel, whether they're married or not, super early just because things got hard. And I think that you hear more often people say, like, you're just going to exchange one set of problems for a different set of problems. So even though I think that we're perfect for one another, there are situations we've fought through that we could have given up on. And that, I think, is where you learn to be stronger in your relationship. The next question I want to answer is about whether or not the first year of marriage is really that hard, or is it the hardest? I think it was. So we've been married a little over a year. What would you say? I mean, I guess our perspective is we just have that first year. But to back up a little bit, he proposed in 2015. So we were like close to 8 years in.
Yeah.
I think. So we had a lot of questions about, like, when are you guys going to tie the knot already? Because it had been so long. So for us, even though we've been together a while, only one of those years has been actually married. So I think we, could provide a little bit of insight on it, I guess.
I mean, I've been told many times that I'm a much better husband than I am a boyfriend. So.
By who?
We'd been together so long that there wasn't much change in the relationship. We got rings, we got married in front of people that we care about, and kind of made that vow, but we were already committed to each other in that manner. So I guess we just made it official, I guess.
Yeah, I heard everybody say, like, once you're married, it's totally different. And, like, they couldn't really tell me what about it was different, but it was so different. And I didn't really notice a huge shift in how my relationship was. I guess the only thing that I noticed was that it definitely had its permanence. Is that a word?
I believe so.
So for me, when I got married, like, that was a lifetime commitment. And, you didn't have that necessarily between you and the government. Or is it with the government?
What the contract of marriage? It is a legal document. So I guess we can use. I don't think anyone in the world has ever phrased it that way.
Is it with the government though? Who is it with?
We are
the state.
Is before God. It is a legally binding
right.
contract.
I was gonna say God, but
yes. I mean, overarching, yes. It's a contract. But it's not
between us and the government?
No, it's between us, but it's legally binding. We're not in conjunction with the government.
It's between us. What was I saying before I said that? Oh, the permanence. So, like, you can be committed to somebody, but having that legal document between the two of us and
the government.
Oh my gosh. I mean, they're always listening, right? So they probably are in on it. Yeah. But also between God. So between us and God, like, I definitely took that to mean like a permanent thing, like never going back on thing. Of course, again, disclaimer, unless like you're in a situation where there's something super dysfunctional happening, then concessions are made, obviously. Another overarching question that we're going to answer is, which we may have already kind of answered, but what advice would we give new couples or newly married couples? What advice would you give?
I went first last time. You can go first.
You can go first.
Fine, I'll go first. I would just say that if you feel that this is, you know, your meant to be relationship, like Alyse said before, you have to fight for it. Don't let outside influences dictate your relationship. You do what you feel is necessary to make it last and do everything you can for that person.
I agree. And the last question, somebody just asked if we still celebrate our anniversaries. And if we did, then what do we do for them? So I thought that'd be kind of a fun question to answer. If you want me to answer it.
You can go ahead.
At the beginning of our relationship, we did do a lot of gifting for anniversaries. We did a lot of surprise gifting as well, and it was fun, which we still do randomly, but way less often. And we just kind of decided about all kinds of holidays, not just anniversaries, but that we didn't necessarily need that item in the budget. And if we really wanted something, then we would just discuss that in general with each other at any time. It didn't have to wait for a holiday or an occasion. But I mean, we do still kind of try to gift smaller priced items randomly just to kind of keep the fun of it.
Yeah, I would say, you know, we still give cards on occasions, you know, that would normally get gifts, but we just kind of realized that, you know, material things aren't necessarily the only way to show affection and love.
Yeah, as we get older, it's like, let's not spend that money. So those are all the questions that I had prepared for today's video. I was trying to keep it short, but I don't think it's going to be short. If you guys have questions that you want answered that we didn't answer, definitely leave those down in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button and the like button down below as well. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, we'd love to have you as a regular follower. And I think that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video for the month of February to get to know us a little bit more. And we'll see you next time. Bye guys.